The city of San Juan is administering the one-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The city received 2,800 doses donated by the United States through the World Health Organization's COVAX facility. Some vaccinees prefer this brand since it only requires one dose. Vaccination teams also say the doses are easier to handle as these can be stored at refrigerator temperatures. San Juan is ahead of the vaccination game in Metro Manila and hopes to achieve herd immunity by next month. And let's us now talk about vaccines and the Delta variant and the evolving pandemic response with San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora. Mayor Zamora, thank you for joining us. I want to start by pointing out San Juan is doing remarkably well with the vaccine rollout. Your city is among many areas in the country rolling out the Johnson & Johnson vaccine today. This is ideal and convenient because it's a single dose and easy to store. But apparently there are also studies, Mayor, abroad showing J&J as well as some other COVID vaccines not being as effective against the highly contagious Delta variant. I know we rely largely on what our health experts are saying, but what are your thoughts about booster shots? Are people in San Juan asking you about it?
Well, first of all, David, good evening and thank you for having me on your program. Yes, we received 2,800 doses of Johnson & Johnson just yesterday, and this morning we were able to administer 600 to those who are within the senior citizen categories and also the persons with comorbidities categories. And we received a lot of good feedback, especially because they only have to come for one dose. And this is big for most people, especially those who really don't leave their homes, especially the senior citizens who are really scared to even just walk outside their houses. So given that it's only one dose, it's really something that they're looking forward to. And also, even our staff, they're happy about it because this means the vaccinees will not have to come back anymore. So this will give them more time to vaccinate other people because right now, the other vaccines that we're using really require 2 doses. Now, with regard to the efficacy, of course, each vaccine has its different efficacy level. But I've read a lot of literature about Johnson & Johnson. And the efficacy level is very high also, except that there are other vaccines that may have higher performance or higher potency. But remember, we do not have any control with regard to what vaccines arrive here in our country, and more so with what vaccines will be given to us here in the LGUs in Metro Manila. So we really just rely on what supply is given to us.
But people, or at least your constituents in San Juan, are they asking you about the possibility of getting booster shots? And this is something that you may raise with the Interagency Task Force or the National Task Force Against COVID-19?
Right now, David, the policy of the IATF is we still do not have any booster shots. So as far as we're concerned, for you to be fully vaccinated, you just need 2 doses if you're talking about the other vaccines. And with regard to Johnson & Johnson, just 1 dose, you are already considered fully vaccinated. So right now, there's still no policy regarding booster shots. And given that San Juan follows whatever IATF guidelines are given.
Mayor, this week you said some vaccine supply problems as well as misinformation are somehow slowing down your rollout. Now, with the onset of the rainy season and now the threat of the Delta variant, are you still confident people will still go out to get their shots and for San Juan to achieve herd immunity by August?
Well, regarding our herd immunity timeline, I have run the numbers and the projections. By end of August, I'm very optimistic that we will indeed reach herd immunity. So the challenge really is for everyone to come back for their second dose. And also, another big challenge is the constant supply of vaccines. So these 2 factors will be in play as we roll out in the next month with the hopes of being able to reach herd immunity by end of August. Now, regarding the rainy season, like this morning, we experienced some challenges with regard to the vaccinees coming to the Phil Flying Center simply because it was really raining hard. But we still had a good turnout today in spite of the rains. And the 2 other vaccine sites are in Green Hills. One is in the Green Hills Theater Mall, and the other one is in the V Mall. So these are air-conditioned and covered venues. So you don't really have a hard time when it rains, except for the actual travel. But when you get to the venue, it's not any more complicated.
Mayor, let's briefly talk about contact tracing because experts are now, again, putting emphasis on the need for contact tracing amid the threat of the Delta variant. A few months back, the Interior Department announced it will make contact tracing app Stay Safe mandatory nationwide. Is San Juan using Stay Safe or your establishments and offices there are still using different contact tracing apps?
From the start, San Juan has been using Stay Safe. In fact, we are in close coordination with Multisys, the ones who developed this app, and it has been working well for us. Regarding contact tracing, we have 289 contact tracers on hand, and in fact, we are only using around 100 at this time because we have a low number of cases. We are just at 82 cases now here in San Juan. But of course, given that the Delta variant is already here in Metro Manila, we are doing our very best to make sure that every time a positive patient comes along, we have to really do extensive contact tracing to be able to make sure that we know who are the people he or she was with the past few days for us to track, to be able to test them and eventually isolate them and treat them if needed.
Mayor Zamora, we appreciate your time and thank you for joining us. San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora. Thank you very much.